King Alcohol has many forms by which he catches man. He is a beast of many horns, and ever thus has been.
For there's rum,
and gin,
and beer,
and wine, and brandy of logwood hue,
and hock,
and port,
and flip combined
to make a man look blue.
He says be merry,
for his good sherry,
and Tom and Jerry, champagne and perry,
and spirits of every hue. Oh, one of these a fiendish crew as ever a mortal knew. Oh, one of these a fiendish crew as ever a mortal knew. King Alcohol is very sly, a liar from the first. He'll make you drink until you're dry, then drink because you thirst.
For there's rum,
and gin,
and beer, and wine,
and brandy of logwood hue,
and hock,
and port,
and flip combined
to make a man look blue.
He says be merry,
for his good sherry,
and Tom and Jerry, champagne and perry,
and spirits of every hue. Oh, one of these a fiendish crew as ever a mortal knew. Oh, one of these a fiendish crew as ever a mortal knew.
Hey, how we doing tonight, guys?
Hey.
Hey.
Mic check.
So we are, where are we? Anyone want to say?
We're at Broad Ripple Brew Pub.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's exciting,
With
wasn't it?
Mr. Jonathon Mullens.
Oh, hey.
There we go.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good, man. Welcome to the show.
You know, I think you said that better than I do.
What's that?
Broad Ripple Brew Pub.
Broad Ripple Brew Pub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I can be your guy at the door.
There you go.
He describes beer beautifully. You got to hear him do that. So.
Ooh,
Oh,
it
it's a
is.
sexy voice.
It's sultry.
let me tell you. It's sultry.
He could describe a Miller Lite and make me want to drink it.
Nah, I don't know about that.
I might be pushing it just a
Hey.
little bit.
Hey, it's all right. Everybody needs water from time to time.
Exactly. It's something to hydrate you, and that's about it.
Miller Lite. It's what for breakfast.
So, Jonathan, last time we ran into each other was at the
Hippity hop. Hippity hop.
Something
Hot
about
model?
being a model.
The next hot model.
There you go.
Yes.
The hippity hop model.
Man, we started out sober, didn't we?
I think we discussed this. Very nice.
Yeah.
Jonathan had so much to drink. I turned into Cowboy somehow today.
Yeah, that was weird. And I left him up alone on the stage. I believe. Sorry, Cowboy. You're stuck in an elevator now, so now you're leaving me alone. So thanks.
He's getting the shaft.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Nothing like a little love in the elevator.
That's right.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
What?
gonna wish he was here.
Yeah, he is.
Welcome to my life. This is all I do all day. I'm bored back there by myself. So
Nice.
What are you doing back there all day for the Broad Ripple Brew Pub?
I brew beer.
Nice.
I sell our beer. I sell beer. I probably do some other stuff, but
With beer.
yeah, most likely.
Excellent.
But it's all beer related.
It's all beer related. Do some office work. That's not really fun.
Do you drink while you do the office work?
Of course.
Well, then it's beer related.
Sure. We'll go with that.
You can go with that. That works.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about Broad Ripple Brew Pub. What's the history behind this place? Because walking in here, this was definitely different from most of the establishments we come to. Very cool vibe.
For those that don't know, we are the first brew pub in the state of Indiana. We are currently the oldest operating brewery in the state of Indiana. We opened up in 1990, been brewing beer ever since, and haven't really stopped. So we must be doing something right. You know, being a brew pub, we serve food, not to be confused with the glamorous stainless steel tanks in the back. Those aren't decorations. We do actually brew beer here. It's amazing.
Yeah?
So yeah, that's what we are. It's the history. This is formed by John Hill, who's an old Englishman. He's only old now. He wasn't old
Back in 1990.
old. He wasn't that old back in 1990, but you know, years have since grown on him.
Yeah.
But he still makes appearances quite often here, just to drink and hang out. He started this place to kind of just be his little clubhouse. He didn't want that yellow. He didn't want that yellow fizzy stuff, as everybody claims.
Seltzer
they don't.
water?
Yeah, the seltzer water.
Yeah.
The stuff that hydrates you more than gets you drunk. And being from England, he wanted flavor in his beer. So
Amen.
Yes.
here you go. This is what we have now. This used to be an old Napa auto parts store.
Oh, really?
No kidding. And oddly enough, they worked on cars here. So the grease spots that reside on the floor are from
real.
vehicles. Yeah, they're real.
Nice.
They're real grease spots. They do not come off with anything.
So
Other than a jackhammer. I think that's about the only thing that will take them off.
did he do? He must have done a really huge remodel. I'm assuming the tin roof and all that was not part of Napa.
Tin roof was not part of Napa. No, you are correct. It came, I can't remember where, because I keep hearing this story when I'm drunk, and I'm not quite that drunk yet. So
Came out of an old theater or something.
I don't have that memory bank yet. But yeah, the tin roof was taken from a place downtown, I believe.
It's like an old theater or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think it was an old theater. I just think it was an old bar.
Oh, really?
They had
works.
the tin roof. So as you can see, the bar facade is actually a door or two or three. I think two there. We found those brass rails there on the bottom, foot rails, recently, and he installed those just because he had them laying around. So it's kind of man that he is. He just finds stuff, has it laying around, puts it to good use, and that's kind of how he built this place. Prior to that, John Hill was actually in construction, so hey, go figure. He can actually build things too. So it was, before that, he had a couple other places, Corner Wine Bar, Wellington, which you guys may or may not be familiar with, but
absolutely.
he definitely had that. He's spent some time in Canada, which is, this is his last sort of trip, was Indianapolis. That story is better left to him as to why he chose to come to Indy, but chose to take the ride with some friends from Vancouver, and this is where he ended up. So now he's here relaxing, more or less.
Well, all from Vancouver.
Was he actually the first brewer here?
He and Gil were the first brewers. I don't really know for sure how he and Gil met. I don't know that story yet. I haven't really had a long enough trip to kind of dive into that conversation with him yet. But Gil was the first one, and we were mocking that yellow fizzy stuff, but he actually works for Miller Coors, the sob industry. But he works for their craft beer industry, whatever that kind of entails as far as that goes. So kind of was one of the first brewers here. They did the whole go to Siebel sort of thing. Back then, Siebel wasn't as hard to get into. It was, the waiting list was a little shorter back then. Now it's pretty long, so a lot of brewers are taking the route that I took of just kind of working for breweries here and there and learning their ins and outs that way. And Google's a wonderful thing too, so we work off of Google.
Now, do we have many recipes left?
Yeah,
The one
beer
we're
that you're drinking
right?
now has been procured over the years. It's the ESB. It's one of the first beers we started brewing. State of Staple. It's the first gold medal winning beer for GABF.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
In the state of Indiana, and that's the only medal you see hanging over the bar. Do have Brewers Cup. The first Brewers Cup we won for that, and of course now that beer is taken off, so entering these competitions gets a lot more androgynous,
a little more intense now.
A little more intense. So
There's probably more competition now.
Yeah, a little bit.
well, it's funny because not everybody's brewing an ESB still to this day, but
True.
when they do, I like to go out and sample it, and it's got more of this. Usually has this more of a American feel to it, not the true English ESB that you're used to over in England. Ours, we get all our ingredients from Muttons, which is traditional English brewing ingredients. We use an English strain, yeast strain. But the only thing we don't have is the water from England.
Right.
And we just kind of, we don't filter our water the same way a lot of people do. So, hey, look, it's telling me I have an interview with you guys. Awesome.
Nice.
I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because we're already doing it. So
We may or may not have started just a touch early.
I'm kind of happy with that.
I'm
though.
all right with that, too.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good feeling. So, yeah, he, where was I?
ESB and the everything here is except for the
ESB.
water.
No filtered water.
Yeah, no filtered water. Kind of do it the way they did back in the old days of heating it up overnight and dropping out whatever stuff we didn't want out, blowing that off, and then that's what we brew with. So the water can change from day to day, or from month to month, or year to year. You know, we kind of at the mercy of whatever the city's providing us.
Right.
It's something I'm slowly trying to work on with John, but it's, you know, he's like, water's fine. It's what we brewed with all the time, so it's okay. You know, I'm like, yeah, but John, everybody's using RO water now, so building it back up. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there to you, you know. But anyway, other than that, I mean, you know, it's 25-year-old equipment. For the most part, there's some add-ons to it. There's a couple new tanks. When we first opened up, one of the funny rules was we literally had to roll kegs around from the brewery behind you, out the brewery door, to the front door, and then through the restaurant. That's how we had to do it. We couldn't literally connect to the restaurant as a brewery. So John told me he wasn't responsible, but I'm making him responsible for changing that law. I can't, mostly because I can't remember the name that he threw out that helped him change it. I mean, there's always multiple moving parts when the law is being changed anyway. So, but he probably was one of the bigger proponents of bitching about it. You know, so one of the first things they did was drill a hole through the cooler into the restaurant to actually run tap lines to the taps. So that's. And then once the law officially got completely changed, they busted out the cooler and added more serving tanks. So it's been a long process for him. A lot of what got started in this, at least in the state, was kind of moved forward by him. John Hill started the guild. He obviously started this place, kind of brought craft beer back into fruition, or just, you know, not the macros that are out there now. That happened before Prohibition kind of overtook everything else. So, but yeah, it's I think he is probably one of maybe 50-ish breweries when he first opened across the nation. So now all those guys are probably way bigger than him. But the thing about John is he kind of likes to stay small, stay local, and just be part of the community that he's in. And that's what this place really is all about, is just being a part of the community. We do Tails and Nails. He's into, you know, fixing up cars and into cars, so Hoods and Hops is put on. And that helps sponsor BRVA, which is the Broad Ripple Village Association. We actually coincide with a lot of events that they put on to either provide beer for an event or something like that they do. You know, we're very much part of the Broad Ripple community and very much part of the Indianapolis community. So
Nice.
Now, is your beer available anywhere but here?
We are starting to slowly distribute, and by we, I mean I. So I'm the only one that does anything with the beer world back there. It's been very slow, but yeah, we have a few small accounts, or just a few accounts, not really small in any particular order, and I kind of work with them as much as I can, and try to remember to at least get in contact with them to say, hey, do you need beer? Are you ready? You know, so that's kind of how I work, because usually it's a text message or a phone call in the middle of a brew day. That's how I sell beer.
There you go.
So, but I've been trying to work with accounts that I already know the people at, so I can get away with that. I hate doing that, but you know, I kind of like the personal aspect of selling beer, but it's not conducive for me to always get outside the walls and push the beer. So I'm kind of looking at an avenue to better do that can get a little bit more beer out. We have some pretty solid accounts. You know, we're on at Tom Tap downtown. Kevin at 20 Taps had our beer on even prior to me. So it's small and it's far and few between. You know, I just dropped a pin off at Bricks because I got a handful. So I got Rye on it. We'll be up there soon. The ESB's been on there. Redemption Alewerks does guest taps all the time. So I've had our ESB up there. I've had Saison up there. I've had some other beer up there. Can't remember because that was 3 beers ago. So and we're talking about what I can deliver them next. So, it's a matter of being patient with me and me being patient with them at the same time, because, it's not always like I can just sell them beer. Anybody I have an account with doesn't have a constant, just bring me something every week kind of thing. So, which is fortunate, because I probably wouldn't have time to deliver the beer every week anyway.
So we've done stuff with Dan up there at Redemption. He's a great guy too. So I probably had your beer up there because that's close to home. So I've gone up there a few times and had some beers. So
yeah, they make good beer themselves too. So it's not. I wouldn't be hurt if you were drinking just their beer. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're there for.
We try to drink everybody's beer.
That's
exactly.
True.
That's the
we
plan.
try to drink it all. Just call it what it is.
Well, it's challenging to do that, but
it's fun.
It is fun
And tasty, usually.
Tasty, yes.
Not always.
Well, that's one of the things we talk about with a lot of different places we go is the big camaraderie that there is amongst a lot of the local brewers and everything. Because, I mean, I personally have been out of state and checked out different things. I would put what we're doing here in Indiana, especially central Indiana, against just about anybody, because there's so much good beer coming out of here right now.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I will agree with that. And I won't ever name names, but, for the most part, I agree with you. And I think those that aren't quite there yet are getting there. And that's because we do have the community that we have.
Exactly.
I think that's the strongest suit of our guild right now is we do bring everybody together the best that we can. We try to put laws into place for everybody. And then we communicate in a way at that point, where we can network, either at festivals or what have you, because what better opportunity to try somebody's beer than at a festival, and then
That's getting tough now. I mean, there's so many festivals now, especially the last couple of summers. There's more and more, and you can't bring beer to every festival.
no, and I can't, be at every festival either. I'm, one person, one jockey box, so and it's typically me that, will be anywhere, and then if I can get somebody to surround me to help me out for the day, I'll bring them along too. But it's, the amount of festivals are almost more ridiculous than the amount of breweries opening up, in my opinion. And it's hard to keep up with. And, some of them are for those guys that are, on the larger side they have teams of people. Right. They can send out and
I have to go to a couple a day.
Exactly.
Some
of them, it's like
2 or 3 a day. Some of them.
I'll tell you what, I'm interested in so many of them on Facebook, but I haven't committed to any of them.
Right. We kind of stick towards the ones that are guild oriented, or if another brewery is putting them on and it's going towards something good, we'll help them out. So we go up to Lafayette a couple times a year. For the Winterfest, and then Beers Across Wabash. Both great events. Greg Giggenberg from Lafayette Brewing Company does a great job of managing those events and getting the right people in place for those. And then Say OK up in Fort Wayne is in September. Okay. This year it's September 10th. So Friday I go up there, and it's a golf outing. You do have to buy into that as a brewer for the most part. I think he gives one ticket, and then if there's extra people, then whatever. But it's a good time for brewers, much as it is for the people. So when you show up to the festival on Saturday, you're lucky to see the brewers actually standing up straight and happy, because they're all probably hungover from Friday night.
That's a normal golf outing anyway.
Well, right. So it's not just the golf outing either, but they have kegs on certain holes
on the back of a golf cart.
More or less, something like that. We're usually filling up bullets or growlers or anything like that. So,
nice.
But it's those kinds of events that are fun for the brewers as much as it is for the folks that show up. And I think those kinds of events show a little bit more from our side. We're a little more willing to interact with the people. You get a few less stupid questions. What's your lightest beer? I'm like, define lightest. We can weigh them. I'm sure they're all going to weigh the same. It's that kind of thing. But it's always, fun to field different questions in different environments and interact with different people that you normally wouldn't interact with. So, and it also gets me out there because I might be able to try other breweries that I haven't tried because now they're a little closer to that festival, and I'm not overwhelmed by 100 venues or vendors there, for the day. So it becomes that night. I like the smaller ones, I guess, is what I'm getting at, because I get to interact a little bit more with a few people that I normally wouldn't interact with. And it's good to catch, a fresh kind of point of view from certain people. Yeah. So it's always fun to go to these. We just recently went to Brew Haha. So we were there having. Yeah,
we missed this year. This one in a while.
Yeah, that's one of my, in the city. That's one of my favorite ones to go to.
Again, I was definitely interested in it.
Yeah, we went to Pies and Pies early.
I didn't have a choice. I had to go. So
we went to Pies and Pints earlier in the year, and that was more of the smaller, very small.
That was nice because
and pizza places and stuff. So it was a little different. And then we went to the Next Hot Model, which was a little bit bigger event. It was a little bit more. It was a different kind of event.
I remember bits and pieces from that.
You remember showing up?
It was a good night.
I showed up. I threw his shirt off the stage. That's
so you walked the runway.
I did sort of ruin the runway. Yes.
Ruin the runway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For a brief moment, and then they got back to business. I wanted to make it awkward, and I did. So.
Perfect.
Yes. Regardless of what was going on, I still made it awkward. Somebody got a free T-shirt off my back. That's all I know. You're welcome, whoever that was.
Well, let's talk a little bit more in depth about the beer we're drinking right now. The CSB years, because like you said, a lot of them you get here a little bit more Americanized.
Somebody must have thought it was really good.
Somebody did love it.
It was awesome. Thirsty. I was afraid I would get back up, but to me, this is a little bit more. I don't know, Hunter, but it's more earthy to me, and a little bit like getting off that weedy. I really like it. I'm not a huge ESB fan, but they're not. Like you said, you get the American version of it, which isn't made like it is in the old English way, and so this is much more earthy to me. And I really like it.
So this is a little more layered than you're probably used to from the American styles, all the way down to the malt. Like I said, we get our malt shipped over in giant crates. And that's what we brew with. Muttons is our carrier, main carrier. We do get other malts, just depending on what I'm really trying to do here. But it's layered. You get the malt, you get the hops, you get a little bit of that yeasty breadiness that you wouldn't really get out of the American style ESBs, because they like to clean it up and make it hoppier, and the thing about an ESB is it's just this well balanced beer. It's not over malty, it's not over hoppy. It's just this. You would go and order a bitter in England, and that's the beer you would get. It wasn't called bitter because it was bitter. It's just that's how they ordered it in the North. In the South, they called it a pint. But that's what you would get.
Still getting it, yeah.
So it's still the same kind of thing. So, and that's kind of one of our first true house beers. The Lawnmower would probably be in second place, which is kind of our introductory beer to craft beer drinkers. It's that, I really like Budweiser.
Right.
Oh, well, here, try this. I really like this. Oh, well, here, try this. Not really. I don't really like beer. Okay, well, here, try this. And, that's kind of our go-to beer that kind of helps people get introduced to not only what we do here, but craft beer in general.
Right.
Because, we were the kind of the first on the block to do it.
Yeah.
So, the IPA came along and the porter came along almost simultaneously. From what I've looked through in the archived books, yes, we obviously miraculously kept wonderful records, sort of. On the beers that we brewed, there are a few things where I just, I was looking back at older recipes and I was like, I bet that'd be really interesting. Damn, I really wish I had the yeast profile on that. And then I would brew it, and then I'd be like, well, damn, now I really wish I had the yeast profile on it. I don't think that's the beer that, we brewed back then. So it's been kind of this fun little journey for even
kind
me.
of an evolution in a way.
From the history of it and the the like, but the DSB, I'm gonna recount just to make sure, but we brewed over 300 batches of that, over 350 to be exact.
Wow.
I think the next batch will be 354. So I'm gonna make a big stink about it when I hit 400. I'm still around. I don't
Why
know.
wouldn't you?
Right? But it's 7 barrels at a time. It's not. That's an impressive number for
That is
one
a
beer.
lot of beer.
Even over 25 years, that's a lot of beer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're 7 barrels at a time over 25 years. What we've done and have accomplished, and what we continue to do, is kind of fun to think
awesome.
about. It's awesome to think about the history that's in this place. I try, when I came here, I tried, my kind of goal was to revive a little bit of the livelihood of this place,
Right.
That existed when it first opened. And it's a struggle for anybody, I think, to take that on because of, new brewery opening up
Oh, yeah.
2 miles that way, 2 miles that way, 2 miles that way.
Every
It's-
2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Right, it feels like it, right? It's like, God damn, I haven't even been to these 5 yet. Shit.
Well, like I said when we first came on, though, this is such a completely different vibe than anywhere else we've been to.
It's your hangout spot,
Yeah,
right? It's
absolutely.
the place you come, and you don't come here to necessarily get wasted. Don't get me wrong, it probably does happen. I'm not going to say that it wasn't me a few times, but it's that place where you come and do what we're doing right now. We're just talking about beer. We're
It's
having
the hangout.
or just having a conversation. It's kind of that hangout. So that's why you
Exactly.
see all these little nooks and
And
crannies.
that's it's the old English style, and it's like being in your grandma's house. It's got, you know what I mean. It's just very. We sat in that one, and we won't say where, but I despise when they had the metal bars, and it just looks.
Man.
It was
It's so
so
intimidating.
industrial.
It was
yeah,
sterile.
I don't want to. I don't want to drink in there or eat. I don't want to do anything in there. I
It
just
was
want let's
awful.
get a beer and get out of here.
I've had the pleasure to go around to a few other breweries, and I'm not knocking anyone out there. They're all kind of doing their thing or replicating what's successful. You come in here, you don't notice the garage door wide open. What you notice is our regulars congregating out in the parking lot. You notice the patios fairly full. Tonight we have trivia, which we used to do every Tuesday, but now we do it once a month, just because it's one of those things that it helps bring people in, helps bring people together.
Sure.
And these guys have fun when they do it,
Right.
So it's, tonight's one of those nights where it doesn't look busy now, but
Give it a minute.
Yeah.
give it a minute, and all of a sudden you're gonna be like, wait, where'd all these people come from? Should I leave?
It's still that in between people. People are out exercising. Other
Yeah.
people are still trying to get home
Just
and get
got
back
off
here.
work.
And
God,
Exactly.
those people that
that
exercise,
in-between.
though, just get a real job and work for a living. Look at me, I'm in great shape.
Exactly. You're in perfect beer shape.
Yes, there you go. I've got the greatest dad bod out there. It's Manahan probably told you about when you guys were chatting with him recently. so.
Manahan did bring you up.
Oh,
He did.
See, and I
Yep.
brought him up. So
There you go. So favor returned.
Yes. Probably for very different reasons. Maybe.
We'll let you listen to the show.
No, actually, so now that you touched on Manahan, I worked at
I
Five-
never touched him once.
You
Just
should
throw that
have.
out there. I heard stories,
You
but I
should
didn't
have,
get the
and then you
chance.
should have told everybody to vote for Pedro after you touched him. That's
This
it's
will
gonna be my
now.
new thing now. So go Pedro, vote for Pedro. Anyway,
Show
but,
title right there, by the way.
Right, yeah.
Pedro.
Jeez. I worked at Flat 12, and when I started there, of course, I started at the bottom of the rung, where every good person should start in this industry. And I'm not even good yet, so I may have jumped ship too soon. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
We had been talking about that. It's a craft. You've got your journeyman. You've got your guy. You guys, you're working up your way up through the craft.
Yeah. And it's so distracted by tangerines now. Damn
So
it.
am I.
That is in the
I was
background.
like, let's just cut and listen to this song and we'll come back.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you know, Jordan over here needs another beer. Poor guy.
Yeah, I know.
Pat
He's
needs
been
a
waiting
beer.
for yeah, Pat needs a beer.
So Pat just needs a beer.
All right. Well, we can.
That's what happens when you
He
sneak
got
up
some
on people.
sips.
We don't even know you're here, and it's like,
Yeah. So I worked at Flat 12 before here, and my journey was starting off in the packaging department and working my way up to the brew deck, and then all of a sudden I'm here.
nice.
That's literally what happened within 5 months. I was like, holy
Oh,
cow,
wow.
Damn,
what?
wow.
What? Where am I? Do I really want to do this? Shit, I'm scared. But now I've kind of gotten into my own rhythm, still trying to move and shake a little bit here. Just having conversations with Manahan. There were moments when we were at Flat 12 together where we would just sit and talk about beer.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Like the taste of beer, but, you know, how to brew it, what styles to look at,
Ingredients.
ingredients, you know, what we thought about doing this or that, or, you know, where he was looking and where I was looking, and somehow they were lining up magically. You know, just from a standpoint of I knew where I wanted to be, he knew where he wanted to be. And of course, since I've left, things have all shifted at Flat 12. But for being as young as Manahan is, he's pretty smart about beer. And I don't foresee that going away anytime soon.
Probably
so, you know, it's we joke that he trained me, but it's, you know, I was already kind of pre-trained going in there because before Flat 12, I was working at Union Brewing Company. And I basically helped them open up the doors brewing. So I brewed batch 1 with Union Brewing Company. Cool. Not many places other than when you open your own place that you get to do that with. So it's kind of cool to be able to do that. And then I think I made it to about batch 100. And at that point in time, I was concentrating on my office life. I don't know why the hell I did that, but I was like, I'm going to concentrate on this. And then 2 months later, they're like, yeah, your contract's going to end and we're not going to be able to renew it because of reorganization. So I was like, oh, well, this is the second time this has happened to me in environments of corporate America. So here it is.
Beer.
Yeah, there it is.
And I mean, I wanted to head down this path. And at that point in time, it was, do I want to train myself to do this or do I want to train myself to do this? I chose beer, and that's kind of where I am now. So what better place to get even more experience than the oldest operating brewery in the state of Indiana and the first brew pub. I mean, I kind of, you know, see how craft beer is evolving, where it's going. I also take a look at what's happening on the shelf spaces of liquor stores, grocery stores, bars, what have you, and what they're paying attention to and what they're doing. In order to even get that shelf space now, you just have to be able to out flavor profile another beer, basically, and market. You know, you can't
And
just...
and definitely market.
Marketing's huge. So we've bottled 1 beer ever, and it just happens to be one of the beers that I brewed here. It was a Celebration Ale. It's English barley wine. So we put it in bombers, and we actually still have some, so we're slowly getting rid of the stock. So it goes to show you just how much people like understand that we don't really bottle anything, have that kind of thing going on, really. So it's not that, you know, that at least it was a beer that can age. So to me, I'm like, shit, yeah, keep buying it. I don't care. Let me know if something blows up. That's all I care about. We'll replace it. It's fine. It's probably just a dysfunctional bottle. So, but I'm kind of QCing it too, so it's kind of fun for me to be able to QC a beer, you know, every month or every other month at this point, where I can see how long that beer is really going to be able to go.
Right.
And that's just, you know, that's that knowledge base now that I'm going to have being here as a brewer. I can now understand the longevity of beer bottled from this mechanism to then how far will it last. You know, are these the right bottle caps? Should I have used a different bottle? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, how far can I take this? You know, will it handle, if it does get a little oxidized, will it handle that? Will it actually give the beer the right notes? Or am I gonna ruin the beer because now it just tastes like cardboard instead of like wonderful sherry notes.
Right. Right.
That's what I have to finally start to discover as this beer sits around. So far, so good. It's holding up well. So the day it doesn't hold up well is the day I go, okay, yeah, we're just going to get rid of it. Anybody want to cook with all of this?
Yeah, call the Blind Pig boys.
Yes.
They'll take it.
They're going to just be laid out in the parking lot on a pallet, surrounded by bottles and boxes. That'd be a great sight.
I think you brought up a really cool and great point, though. When you go into the grocery stores now, you can go into a Kroger and see a lot of Indiana craft beer and Indianapolis craft beer.
This is true.
So, I mean, I know Scarlet Lane even has their own little display in Kroger now. So seeing those type of things is really cool to kind of see the evolution of where it started and where it's going now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be taken even further from that aspect of it. I've been to other states, and Ohio is a prime example.
I'm Busey.
This is Chili from
Dos
Dos Ringos.
Ringos.
You're listening to Blind Pig Confession.
Woo!
What's the best way to make it through a long work week? Take a midweek break and join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House in Fishers for Nico's Open Stage. Want to share your talent in front of a live audience? Whether it's breaking in some new material or jamming out to some favorites, Nico's Open Stage is the place to go for it. There's never a cover charge, and walk-ins are always welcome. Each week brings a featured artist and drink specials from Jack Daniels. Check out Nico's Open Stage on Facebook for more details. And come join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House, home of the boys of Blind Pig Confessions. Come join the boys of Blind Pig Confessions as they rest their hoofs at the new Fishers location of the Stack Pickle on August 16th. If you haven't been here yet, come join the pigs as they record live and find out about all the pickle has to offer. Joining the pigs and the fine folks of the Stack Pickle for this event will be the Bullet Bourbon Rep to give insight on one of our favorite Kentucky bourbons, as well as free samples for the crowd. So take a break from your typical mundane Tuesday night and join the boys of Blind Pig Confessions for a special evening at the Stack Pickle on August 16th. Coming to the Black Lake Conference Center in beautiful northern Michigan the weekend of August 12th, the boys of Blind Pig Confessions. Golf, fine dining, camping, comfortable, affordable lodging, craft beer, and camaraderie are just a few of the things you'll find on this 1,000 acres of wooded wonderland. And the pigs are determined to explore them all. Go to the event page on Facebook to learn more details as they're released on this upcoming weekend and how you can be part of the festivities. A few local celebs will be joining the boys for shows over the weekend, so you won't want to miss out on any of the action. Come for the shows or stay for the weekend. But be sure to stop by and have a drink with the pigs.
By the way, I live very close to here, so that's... When I say here, I mean it's
Here.
relatively close.
5 miles within
At least.
walking distance.
Walking distance. I'm 2.5 miles from here. So
Oh, wow.
Walking
Nice.
distance.
that's a long walk. I prefer a bike ride at that point.
That'd
Not
be
gonna lie. But then then again, I can stay well balanced even drunk, so that's why I prefer the bike ride.
There you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
kudos.
Yeah.
Can you get a DUI on a biker? On a
You
bike?
actually can.
Absolutely you can.
You
Yes.
can. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Don't tempt fate. It's
Wow.
weird, but you can.
Well, that's
Somehow, most cyclists don't understand that it is considered a motor vehicle
Well, I understand. You
without having a motor.
I know you could get like a DUI if you're like close to your car with your keys in your hand, even if it's not started. But how do you judge on the bicycle?
That's why you just put it in your lap and sit in your car and fall asleep.
No, you can still get a ticket for
Nope.
that. Heck, in Florida, you can.
Oh, that's Florida. That's why that
Arizona,
place-
you can too.
Those states suck, not in this state.
That's why we're in
I
Indiana.
had a buddy get a DUI sitting in
This
his
is
car.
why I'm not old. This is my old retirement spot
Wow.
right here
Oh,
at the
there you
Brew
go.
Pub.
There you
I'm
go.
kidding. We do have a lot of youth here and a lot of old.
Yes.
It's a nice mix. I
good
mean,
mix.
we
It's a
looked
very nice
around. I
mix.
mean,
It's a
honestly,
pub.
yeah.
As soon as they go to the old New Orleans laws where you can start carrying your beer from place to place. then
Wait, you can do that here,
be
depending
alright.
on the venue.
Really?
Yeah. The more you know.
Isn't that great?
I thought that was just during the downtown they had lifted that ban
that's
for a little bit. But
a miss. This is why our patrons can drink outside of the little patio.
Okay.
But I couldn't walk from here to another craft brewery.
Sure.
Can you really?
With your beer in your hand?
Really?
They may not let you in
Oh. I mean, I
with
let you
said
in.
beer.
But the cops can't stop you for walking around.
Correct. Trust me, I walk my dog all the time with a beer in my hand.
Nice.
Oh.
Kidding, but that is the law. The open container is allowed, and you can walk around with open container.
Interesting.
It's a misnomer that happens. So a lot of venues that you go to, they will just tell you it's law, you can't do it. So then everybody becomes confused about it again.
Gotcha.
But the truth is, you can have open container. If we so chose to let you leave here with a plastic cup, which we typically don't, you'll see all the regulars have glasses that come in and out. But the rule is we don't serve you out in the parking lot. You have to come in and get it, and you can leave again. Gotcha. So that's our rule here at the pub. Hopefully,
if I cover it well, can I put it in the card?
Don't think driving with it is a good idea.
Nope.
What if you're going to another brewery?
Not going to say that's never happened again, but we prefer you not to get in the car with our glasses, you jackass.
Of course not, yes.
Shit.
Bring
go,
that
Brendan.
back, asshole.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice, not many people have 20-ounce pours of anything here. Sorry about the Tart Lizzie. It is only 16 ounces, but
it was actually great.
It's expensive to make, so
the Tart Lizzie is actually it's really good.
You liked it?
It's not too tart at all. It's not hitting me in the in the jaw.
ass cheeks.
Yes,
The
or the
vagina.
jawbone.
Or the jawbone.
Yeah, I mean, because the tart usually it gets you right there in the jaw.
Sure.
As compared to the
I
sour.
kind of want to insert comment here, but I'm going to refrain from this.
Why is he refrain? They don't.
I wanted to say it hits you in your vagina. But
I was going to say I thought he was used to hitting in the tonsils, but
It's all right.
I know.
welcome to the show, Pat.
That's all right. That's what I'm here for. I set him up.
Yep,
you guys
and
knock him
that
down.
just happened, folks.
I set him up. You guys knock him down.
Pat just offered a round of blowjobs for the whole table.
No, I didn't offer. No.
You said that's what you were here for.
You insisted on.
No.
I think he implied.
I implied that I'm here for people to make fun of.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
I thought we were all going to take turns hitting your
no.
tonsils. That's what I took
No,
out of that.
I'm not here for. No, I'm not here for that. No, that's Brendan's job later on.
Wow.
I don't mind.
Maybe they should be calling you Cowboy.
Oh, Cowboy.
Poor
Cowboy.
I'm gonna listen to this and hate
Show up
everybody.
God, I leave him on stage and then I hang him out to dry while he's not here. This is just the worst job ever for him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really.
So let's talk a little bit about the beer we're drinking. Pat already talked about his tart, and we all have the porter. What is the name of this porter? Because you just told me I was drinking a porter.
It's Manahan Porter.
Okay.
Hence the Manahan Trail is literally, we're right off of it. So Manahan Porter, it's traditional sort of English style porter. Mine porters and stouts are very similar. Right. So we're kind of that in-between porter stout sort of porter. It's a little brown, as you will notice, a little mahogany, not so much pure black like you see a lot of porters.
Yeah. Yep.
It's got.
But you get the chocolate notes in there.
Yeah, the chocolate
Still
notes.
get-
The
Little hint of coffee.
little hint of coffee.
Not overpowering by any means.
No,
but a little.
and that's kind of how we want the porter to
Yeah.
be. So it's it's been around for a while. It's one of those on again, off again sort of beers that we've had for years. The brewer before me, John Treater, who now works for Oak and Barrel, was slowly in the thought process of making this a finalized house beer. When I got here, I more or less made it the finalized house beer. It's been off maybe twice since I've been here. One, due to just test the waters, and the other one due to my own fuck up. So, but hey, good news for you. That fuck up is now sitting and aging in barrels. So we'll see where that's at in a little while.
There you go.
This is a great thing about screwing up beer and having barrels on hand. So
Try to be able to save it.
yes, a little bit at
flavor.
least. It wasn't horrible. It's just more of the yeast got a little stressed, so it was a little more Belgian-y.
Oh, okay.
Kind of style porter, which
Right.
nobody's
Doesn't
really
quite
come
work.
up with yet, and there's a reason for that.
Belgian
So
style porter.
yeah, at that point, I would like to insert hops here and call it a day, but it was past due and just never really cleared out from that profile. So we chose to put it in barrels and not serve it for a little while until we can get it back on. So,
What kind of barrel?
whiskey barrel, second use. So I'll probably see where it is, maybe introduce some Brett to it, and just really have fun messing these barrels up at this point.
Yeah.
because,
Do you have a specific place you get your barrels from, or you have a
well,
or anybody you have
honestly,
an agreement with, or
not really in agreement with. It's part of goes back to the community part of things. Flat 12's made some barrel runs, and they'll usually say, "Hey, you need anything?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, what are my options?" Pulled a saison out of a red wine barrel,
right?
or farmhouse ale, have you, out of a red wine barrel, and I mean it just kind of enhanced it just a little bit more. It provided a very clean beer for sitting in a barrel as long as it did.
Nice.
So it's kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a little bit more wine profile to it, but the oak really lends itself well to the beer. It's going to be called UB40.
Okay.
Because, redwood wine makes you feel so fine.
Yep.
You'll see a lot of my beer names come from pop reference obscurities, to say the least. But I have fun with it. So it's what happens when I'm the only one here to bounce ideas off of. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We'll name it this. And another beer I have sitting in the Waynes for our 25-year anniversary actual ale. I'm kind of mad that I didn't know how this was going to turn out prior to brewing it, but or we would have bottled it instead. Was a beer called The Last Day Camp. I got a hold of 25 other breweries and asked for 25 pounds of grain of their choosing. It could be whatever they wanted. I didn't have to know about it. Just when I come to pick it up, I'm agreeing, you're agreeing, I'm agreeing that this is going to happen. So I got 25 other breweries to provide 25 pounds of grain each. So there's 25 different grains in this beer.
Goodness.
Wow. I put it on the hand pull for the 25-year anniversary. I put about half of that beer in whiskey barrels, and pulled those out, and now it's called, we called the beer Last Day Camp, because it's kind of like what you would do at the Last Day Camp, just kind of throw everything in the pot.
Yeah.
Right.
Which John Hill haphazardly named this beer. He happened to be here the day we were brewing it, which I was not expecting. So it was really cool for him to be here early in the morning, for the guys over here earlier in the morning, and telling his stories about the history of brewing in Indiana. It was kind of like to honor him a little bit too. So I got breweries like, Three Floyds, 18th Street, Upland, Flat 12, Triton was in on it.
Do you know what they gave you? Do you have that written down
I
to
have it
recreate?
written down,
Okay, I thought it was a straight up grab bag.
If I ever have to recreate this again, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. It was literally the longest brew day I've ever had here. It was a 17-hour day, and I've never had a day like that. And that's just because I filled up that mash tun like it's never been filled up before with grains that I thought would flow a little bit better, but did not, especially at the mash temperature I went at. So it was a good learning experience for myself. We had 25 other breweries. There's a little blog write up on it on our website, so if anybody's really interested to see who all was really involved in it. Bruges Outliers was a huge proponent of it. We went as far south as Carson's, New Albanian. I know I'm missing some off the top of my head because that was almost so last year ago. It wasn't even funny. Like I said, Upland, Bloomington Brewing Company, those guys are all involved in it too. So,
but that's what you got to do. You got to experiment. You got to try that stuff. You gotta keep it fun.
You know, it was fun and probably one of the better beers I've brewed out of here. And it's, about the only thing I provided was the hops, yeast, and water, for the grains.
Right.
And then just whatever little bit of experience and time I'd already had in here, which wasn't, when you think about it in retrospect, not a whole lot. I'd only been here for about a half year.
Right.
At that point in time. So I was still really getting to know the system. And, I mean, it takes a while to really get to know your system.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still learning nuances with it, but honing in on that nuance a little bit more with a little bit more paperwork at this point in time.
Right.
With that being said, I bottled off a little bit of that, and then, like I said, we put some more of it in barrels and kegged some of it off. And when I kegged it off, I decided to name that batch Ron Swanson's last day at camp. If anybody knows me, Ron Swanson is like my favorite on TV personality.
Yes.
Spectacular. There's many times I probably act like him without even knowing who he is. But it's I think I smile a little bit more than him, and I probably get drunk more than he does. So that's probably the only two differences.
I don't know.
If you know Ron Swanson, he doesn't get drunk often, and it takes snake juice to do it.
That's true. It does. Yes, you're right.
That was also another thought with snake juice, but I didn't want to call it that. So Ron Swanson's last day at camp was so good.
I like it.
We're in Indiana. It's good to have that namesake with
sure.
Parks and Rec. So.
Oh yeah, he's one. Yeah, I love that show.
So let me ask you, Jonathan. Did you just all of a sudden fall into a job, or did you do home brewing to start with? Where did your passion come from this?
I homebrewed for probably about 6 years before I really fell into this industry.
Wow.
And I think it was even at that level I realized I was going to end up here to one faction of another, whether I owned or was brewing for somebody else. Right now it just so happens I'm brewing for somebody else, but I still have that end goal of owning my own someday. And I think that's where I'm coming in now. That's why I chose to come here, was because it's a brew pub environment. I want to see how it runs, how it operates, how it's lasted for 25 years, and what you can and can't get away with, to an extent. Nowadays, being in this industry for as long as John Hill has, he's seen a lot of ups and downs, and now you're seeing a lot of, that's where we got to talking about the shelf space. Was you don't have a lot of room for shelf space. Imagine if John Hill decided to be Sun King 25 years ago, where he would be. I mean, that ESB in cans probably would taste fantastic.
Oh yeah, it would.
It would.
At this point in time, we would have the wonderful little widgets that they've come out with and all that good stuff. So, but no, I mean, we're that happy. Like I said, we're that happy family-friendly environment, dog-friendly environment out on the patio.
Pig-friendly environment.
We'll test the pig. We'll see how that goes.
Well, at least it's pig-friendly in here.
Well, yeah.
Well,
pig-friendly inside.
So far, we'll see.
Nice young.
But that's kind of why I chose here, is because I can kind of see that things are getting a little crowded out there in the market, and people are really looking for that local vibe. That and not only that, but that new and interesting twist on things. So
and I think that's the thing. This has been around for, like you said,
26
years almost now, or
we're
whatever
old.
it is.
Yeah, it's all right. You can call us old.
Well, but that's the thing, though. It's established, but you're still throwing out new things. You still got some stuff you're throwing out there.
Still have first timers coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to go, Pat.
Yeah.
Well, plus what's unique too is that he was here in the beginning, and there's so much changes, especially the last 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
What he has seen the industry go through in Indiana and Indianapolis, it's like it's got to be.
Well, not just seen, he's also helped it grow.
It helped it grow, but just to see the changes, especially. And how vast the changes have been to be able to do that. It's been a unique process for John to be able to see everything going around him.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he built half the buildings that the breweries are in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's he comments on it a lot, and he thinks about it, like, how can we kind of recapture that vibe we had, all those years ago when we had lines out the door. If you go around Broad Ripple, we're, as far as dining experiences, we're probably one of the bigger square-footed places.
Yeah.
And we work as, well-oiled as we possibly can with a shrunk staff, and I say that with from an efficiency standpoint, and not anything else. It's just we do it with as low key of a staff as we can. We understand that there's going to always be those certain nights and certain days where shit's going to be overwhelming. That happens at every restaurant.
Oh yeah. Hopefully.
Right.
That's all right. I was at one last week that had too much staff, and it still took 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's what you never want to see. So
I had three bartenders.
Bumping into each other.
I had three bartenders. It took me 20 minutes to get a beer.
We have, tonight we have one bartender. If we know it's going to be crazy busy, we'll throw in another bartender. But that's usually a discussion through our staff, and we communicate well from that standpoint. And it's good to kind of see that. And when I came here, my first thing was to get to know everybody, figure out what they wanted. Not from just a server standpoint, from a regular standpoint, from a not regular standpoint. I'd already been a customer here. I knew what to expect of the place, and I knew, not that I was as regular as some of our regulars actually are. I wasn't here every night, but there's probably about once or twice a month, or once a month or every other month that I'd be coming in here and hanging out with my friends because they were already regulars here. But being in this industry, there was always something going on, so I was that fleeting, oh my God, new and interesting, what? Hey, how's, like Forrest Gump was, and standing over the president's shoulder awkwardly because, the footage didn't line up perfectly. You just had to be awkward. I do that a lot. That's how I roll. It's, here is home, and I found that, and I kind of wanted to see how home worked. There's the trivia.
There's the trivia.
It's good timing.
Good time.
Everybody listen.
Can we answer the questions?
Words I haven't spoken in a month.
Oh, he hasn't spoken in a month or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Can I wave at him and tell him we're recording over here?
He doesn't care.
I'm sure he doesn't. The one thing I will say about Broad Ripple Brew Pub is you're not like right there on the main drag, but you're kind of that little hidden gem. Like when you talk about the regulars coming in and everything, it's kind of that base of people you have. There's a really cool vibe because of that, and then you start to bring in some, they bring in new people,
right?
Hopefully our show will bring in a couple people for you.
I hope so. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, because you paid us a lot of money, so not really.
You guys are drinking for free.
Exactly. That's what we do.
There were no bribes under the table.
No, not at all.
Just a couple hand jobs.
Thank you, Pat.
Is there anything else we need to know? Well, actually, not us, but for the guys who haven't been here yet and need to get here, what do they need to know about the brew pub?
Just come and try us out, man. I mean, we're not new, but we've been around for a while, and we're making good beer. So that's.
I don't know if we mentioned the food's great here too.
Yeah.
They do have good
food. Is good.
Very good food.
Food is
great
good.
Beer, so.
Beer is fantastic.
Atmosphere is good. Pub style. You've got patio. You've got.
And we're about as relaxed as it comes, man. I mean, you guys came in here and took over and pissed everybody off. So good job.
Fuck them.
Sorry about that.
We work. That's how we work.
All right, Jonathan. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate you
thanks
having us.
for coming in. Appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll chat with you guys again.
Absolutely will.
Yeah.
Hey, if you haven't been here, get here.
Please.
This is a really cool place.
That's the thing. And if you have been here and haven't been here in a while, come back.
Get your ass back.
I mean,
that's right.
I know a lot of people have moved on and left, but come on back, man. I mean, you know, we're trying to have a little more fun here, so come back and find that out.
Hey, we had fun.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Later.
King Alcohol has many forms by which he catches man. He is a beast of many horns, and ever thus has been. For there's rum, and gin, and beer, and wine, and brandy of logwood hue, and hawk, and port, and flip, combined to make a man look blue. He says be merry, for his good sherry, and Tom and Jerry, champagne and perry, and spirits of every hue. Oh, Arnoth is a fiendish crew, as ever a mortal knew. Oh, Arnoth is a fiendish crew.